on emotions. We often shame our emotions. I want you to think about when you were a child, how your parents dealt with you when you were feeling really happy, really connected, really easy, just like listening, going along with whatever they said. Did they give you love, joy, attention, connection? And I want you to conversely think about the times when you had really big emotions. Maybe you were feeling a huge amount of anger or frustration or sadness or anxiety. How did your parents deal with you then? Was there some disconnection? Was there some go to your room, like this is too big for us, this is too much for us, or those are negative emotions, like those emotions aren't okay? And again, when I'm speaking about this, shame is like in our subconscious mind. So it's not necessarily what messages our parents were consciously giving us, but through their actions and their words and their tone, their body language, their behavior, what messages were they giving us about emotions? And I'm not saying this to be like, our parents were the worst. If you go read books, media, like all the things that were out back then, like it was also really shame-based. So they were doing what they could with what they had. But we can do differently now. There's new research, there's new ideas, there's a lot happening right now, so we can do something differently for us and our emotions. So I want you to think about what emotions you feel are okay and acceptable and you're totally fine with, and what emotions you aren't. One of the things that happens when I start working with clients, and this also happened to me when I started doing this years ago, was as soon as I would start crying, I would say, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like it was like a burden to somebody else. My tears were a burden. My feelings were too much. My feelings were a burden on the world. My feelings were a burden on the person that I was speaking with. And again, I'm not speaking like consciously, like my mind wasn't like thinking that all of the time, but that is how I felt, which is why we often say sorry when we cry, right? If not, why? Like if we don't feel like it's a burden, if we don't feel like it's a problem, feel like it's totally fine, then like why would we apologize for our tears? Why would we apologize for our feelings? So part of emotional work is uncovering the messages surrounding emotions that I had as a child, what I'm still holding on to, again, subconsciously, and how I can release some of those so that I can deal with emotions in a way that is healthier, that is more open, that is more accepting, like I would want to if it was my kids now. Like, how would I ideally want to deal with them when they're feeling angry or frustrated or sad or hurt or grief or pain? Like, in my ideal scenario in my mind, what would that look like? Or back when I was little and I was feeling that way, this is probably even a better question, is how would I have wanted somebody to deal with me then? What did I actually need back then when I was feeling those feelings? And how can I give that to myself now in those feelings right now? Because the more I give it to me, the more I can give it to somebody else. I can't give what I don't already have. If I'm not willing to hold space for my own uncomfortable feelings, it's going to be really difficult for me to hold space for anybody else's uncomfortable feelings. So the more I meet myself in those feelings, the more I'll be able to meet others in theirs. If you are enjoying these episodes, I would love for you to follow, subscribe, like, share, do all those things so that it can get more out into the world, more out into the algorithm, and join me in this shame-free movement.